All right. So, how's everybody doing? I see that Rachna is on, so I'm just gonna get started right into this. And as you guys kind of funnel in here, um, you could just pop on the chat and just write hi, or you hear a little hand or something. So, what I wanted to talk about today is I want to talk about the formula. So the formula is how you are going to figure out your levels. I know a lot of you guys had some questions about it. It could be a little bit intimidating figuring out these numbers. So we're going to go through it a little slower. The most important part about this is figuring out how many grams of protein you need per day. Once you figure that out, the rest of it should just kind of just fall into place. Um, some of the stuff is up for interpretation for you guys. The reason why I designed this this way is really so you can figure it out on your own. Obviously, I'm here to help. So, just a couple of announcements. First thing, we had our team meeting on Tuesday, and from you guys filling out the survey, one of the things were me heading up to Stanford and having kind of maybe a meeting up there on a Friday after the last class, or maybe coming up there for the day and scheduling some appointments to see you guys individually. So we're going to put that in progress. I don't know exactly. I don't have a date for you guys in Stanford yet, but I'm definitely going to be heading up there and meeting with you guys at some point sooner than later. I would say after somewhere probably after Christmas and after January. I was hoping to maybe get up there sooner, just so you guys can ask me questions, get a better understanding of really of what's going on with this formula and everything. So also, just if you had any concerns about anything, I would be there for you guys to ask me. So that's definitely in the works. The other thing, if you're just not getting it and you're not able to figure out your levels, we could always get on a phone call. You could always email me, Shawn@fatburn.com, SHAWN. Contact me at Facebook. Call the studio in White Plains. The phone number is 914-946-0717. There's a bunch of different ways to definitely get in contact with me. I do not mind sitting down with anybody and going over this food chart so you guys have a full understanding of how to put your meals together and the amounts of food you're supposed to be eating. Hopefully, by me coming up to Stanford, that'll take care of some of that, where you guys are actually utilizing the MBA binder because there's a lot of good stuff in it. And the third thing is I'm actually meeting, I'm going to have some frequent meetings actually with my friend Paul, who is not Paul Wintergurst, Paul Salomon, who is a vegan, 100% vegan. He's been living that lifestyle now for quite a while. He's also a power lifter. So I'm working with him in designing an MBA nutrition program for anybody that wants to be on a vegan diet. And I know some of you eat meat, but not really that much, and you want to know how to put your meals together for something that isn't animal based. And I'm definitely working on that. It's going to be a work in progress, but I am getting that stuff done. Also, I always try to put some vegan recipes in our food for some of you to order, just so there's not always meat products on there, because I know some of you live that lifestyle as well. So those are just a few things that are in the works. So this webinar is probably going to be maybe 20-25 minutes. I know we're like 5 minutes in already right now. I just wanted to go over some of those announcements with you guys so you had an understanding of what's coming, and really what's going to be happening soon. So let's get into this. So the winning formula, right? So I'm going to talk about where it says your body weight is converted into kilograms and multiplied by one of the following. So when you see where it says weight, fat loss, fat loss, and then you see the 1.2, 1.4, I know some of you were confused about, what do I use? Do I use the 1.2? Do I use the 1.4? I know the 1.2 is going to give me less food, which is going to enable me to maybe lose weight quicker. Just some clarification on these numbers, right? The 1.2, if you're working out 3 or less times per week, use 1.2. If you're working out more than 3 times per week, use the 1.4. If you're working out more than 3 times per week, you naturally just need to be fed a little bit more calorically, and I don't want you guys not getting the energy you need because you're not eating enough food. So the same thing with preserving lean body mass. If you're working out 3 or less times per week, use 1.6. If you're working out more than 3 times, use the 1.8. So if you these are up to your goals and the muscle gain. So it's whatever really that you want to accomplish. When Chris or I or Andrew, and we meet with you guys, we're going to give you our recommendation during our reap sessions and our body comps of what we think you should be doing. But in the end, it really comes down to you and what you want. If you're a 25% body fat, and it's my opinion that you should be eating a different way for preserving lean body mass, and you should be using 1.8, but you still want to lose weight because you want to see that scale get to somewhere because that's your goal, then you're going to eat for weight loss, fat loss still, because it's literally what you want. It's my recommendation of what I think you should do, or Chris's recommendation, or Andrew's, but it's really about what you want. If you want to see that scale go down still and you're 25% body fat, that's fine. We could work that into there. I want you guys to have a full understanding of this, though. So the weight loss, fat loss, you guys get fed starch twice a day. And when I start getting into the chart, I'm going to say this again, but I just want to say it so you hear it once, and then you hear it again, and then you hear it 3 times. Preserving lean body mass, you guys will eat starch 3 times per day. And if you want to build muscle, you have to eat starch in every meal. Okay? You guys need constant glycogen refills if you're in muscle gain mode, and you need it. You need your glycogen stores is filled as well for preserving lean body mass to help yourself continue to burn fat. And in weight loss, fat loss, you guys will notice that when we're doing your body comp, sometimes your lean body mass will go down. So I want to explain that a little bit. If you have weight to lose, your lean body mass will continue to drop. So because of the machine we use, it's an ultrasound machine. Usually when somebody has 25 plus pounds to lose, the body starts developing intramuscular fat. So the way our body composition machine works is it's going to scan and it's going to read the thickness of the muscle in millimeters. It's also going to read thickness of fat in millimeters, and it's also going to tell us if there's multiple compartments of fat. That's how it's going to tell us if you have excess fat. So your lean body mass will drop. It doesn't mean that you're actually losing muscle. It just means that the muscle is getting more lean by dumping out the intramuscular fat that's inside of it. So if you have 25 plus pounds to lose, the lean body mass will continue to drop until we get what's really considered a baseline. So let's just say your lean body mass is 130 pounds. You do your first body comp, you lose 7 pounds, but your lean body mass goes down 3 pounds. So you lost 4 pounds of fat, you lost 3 pounds of lean body mass. That's going to bring your lean body mass now down to 127. That lean body mass, when you have weight to lose, is going to continue to drop. So for somebody 130 pounds of lean body mass, I would expect that probably to drop anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds. So we're going to get now a baseline. Let's just say it went down 8 pounds, and now your lean body mass is at 122. And then 30 days later, you get your body comp done. It's at 122. And 30 days later, you get your body comp done. It's at 122. I now know, and I don't really need it to happen 3 times, but I now know that your lean body mass naturally should be around 122. If it starts getting below that number, that's when these numbers up top here that I'm talking about come into play. That's why it would be my recommendation if you hit 25% body fat and now your lean body mass is dropped below where it's supposed to be. I'm going to recommend that you need to eat more calories and you need more starch, which I'm going to recommend the preserving lean body mass. If you want to continue to drop weight at that point, that's fine. It's completely up to you if you want that scale to go down. Just understand at that point, you could have some muscle loss, you could have fatigue during class, and you might not be as strong as you were before. So you're going to lose strength, you're going to get fatigued. And those are just 2 signs of muscle loss. So I want you guys to have an understanding of that. Because when you experience this, and it's not like just once a day, maybe you're not feeling well, maybe you're having an off day, maybe something's emotionally got to you all day and you just have loss of strength. That's completely normal if something like that happens. If you have that kind of stress, that cortisol in your body, it's naturally catabolic. It's going to make you weaker in nature if you've been stressed out all day. But I'm talking like you were crushing it one week and all of a sudden now you're kind of like fading out. And it's not just one day, it's maybe for like a week or 2 this is happening to you. And you notice that you're getting weaker. You're not progressing. That's when we need to change this. This is when I would actually like you guys to actually contact me and say, hey, this is what's happening. I'm getting weaker. I'm not getting stronger. I'm not progressing. You'd be surprised at how eating more calories actually is going to start increasing your strength gains and decreasing your body fat percentage. So now I want to get into an example of how to calculate this. So I'm going to kind of point at it with the arrow. It's right here. And I always give women an example because fat burn is kind of 95% women. So the first thing we need to do is we need to convert your weight into kilograms. Okay. So if I want to convert my weight into kilograms, I do it two ways. I could do this formula right here, which is I'm going to divide my weight by 2.20462, and I'm going to get my weight in kilograms. Or you could literally download a converting app on your phone. I use the converting app all the time. You can scroll to weight. I put in my pounds, and then I put kilograms, and it tells me how much weight in kilograms. And this is one part of the formula you could skip by just easily using an app. Maybe you don't want to download an app just to figure out your weight in kilograms. Maybe it's something you're never going to use. It actually comes in handy sometimes, especially when you want to look up real quick, if you don't know how many ounces is in a fluid, how many fluid ounces is in a liter, you could look at it for things like that too. It's pretty cool. But if you download that app, you can figure it out real quick. If not, divide your weight into 2.20462, and it's going to give you your body weight in kilograms. So this is the example. It's a woman that's 150 pounds, dividing her weight by this 2.20462, we're going to get 68.03. Now, if this was 68.7, I would round it up to 69. If this was 69.4, we would keep it at 68. We're going to use the rule of thumb of rounding, which if it's 68.5, we round up. If it's below 68.5, we are going to round down or just leave it at 68, okay? So you can see in the next step, this woman that's 150 pounds is 68 kilograms. So now what we want to do is we want to multiply that, because what she wants to do is she wants to lose weight and she works out 3 days or less per week. So she's in weight loss mode. So she's going to use 1.2. 68 kilos times 1.2 equals 81.6. And again, we're going to round up because that number is at 5 or higher, where the decimal is. So we're going to use 82. Once I get that number, now I now know how many grams of protein. You can see the next step. 82 represents how many grams of protein she will be fed per day. Now we have a choice here. Would you like to eat 4 times a day, or would you like to eat 5 times a day? Or maybe you eat 3 times a day. I don't care how many meals you eat per day. What you're going to do is you're going to divide that number by how many meals you want to eat per day, and it's going to give you the number. And you can see, now we just have to figure out how many meals she can eat per day. And in this case, let's say she chooses 4 per day. We're going to do 82 divided by 4, and we get 20.5. All right, so now we know that she needs to have about 20 grams of protein per meal in order to hit her number of 82 grams per day. I know 20 times 4 is 80, but with some of the other stuff you're getting, you're definitely going to be getting, like there's protein in rice, there's some protein in veggies. I'm not really concerned with that. I understand that some of that does have protein in it. I'm more concerned with the animal protein or the vegan protein or whatever it is that you're going to be eating, fish, seafood. I'm concerned about that number. I'm not worried about the extra stuff that you might be getting through rice, through broccoli, through potatoes, or whatever else you guys are going to be deciding to eat through the day. I'm more concerned with the actual protein itself. So I'm going to stop right there. All I want you guys to do is use this formula. I want you to figure out how many grams of protein you need per day, and then I want you to divide that number by how many meals you would like to eat per day, or realistically even can eat per day. I know some of you have some busy jobs where you can't just crack open a meal whenever you want, or you're in a meeting and you can't just open a meal, and that's fine. Maybe you're going to be starting at 3 times per day. And I just want you to know that's completely acceptable, because you're still calorically going to be getting everything you need, and you're going to get the amount of protein you need per day. So that's how I want you guys to start. And if this is something that is hard for you to figure out, and you really are just really not getting it, please email me, hit me up in Facebook, call the studio, whatever you need to do. I don't mind. I will get on a call. We could do a Skype session where I could open up my screen. Hopefully me traveling to Stanford and meeting with some of you guys one-on-one will help, remedy any of these issues you guys may be having. But I would really like you to try this, because once you do it once, you just got it. And once you got it, and you have it forever. So, that's the long-term goal here. So I'm going to click to the next page, because there's this table right here, right? There's this food table of you're going to be putting your levels in here and your numbers in here, and this is going to tell you what to eat on that day. So let's get to somebody who is going for some fat loss. So this person, since it's 1.4 on here, clearly is working out more than 3 times per day. Let's say this person works out 6 times per day and they want to lose weight. Her body weight in kilograms is 70 kilograms. We're going to multiply 70 times 1.4, and she needs to be fed 98 grams of protein per day. It's pretty much 100. So she wants to eat 4 meals per day. So she needs 25 grams of protein per meal. I'm going to get to the other stuff, but if you look at the portion size guide, I know that number 3 equals 25 grams of protein. So it's safe for this person that's eating 4 meals per day to put just 3s across the board. The first thing you're going to do is put these 4 3s up here. Don't even worry about filling anything else out yet. Put these 4 3s up here. So like I said before, anybody that's going for fat loss, weight loss needs to eat starches twice a day. And I put that at this asterisk right here. Fat loss requires 2 meals with starches. So the second thing you want to do is figure out which meals you want to eat starch. So she decided she wants to have a starch with breakfast. So again, the starch number has to match the protein number. Okay? Like, you don't even need to see the portion sheet guide to know any of this. You need to see the portion sheet guide to know what your 3 is, right? Because if you know you need 25 grams of protein per day, you're gonna have to flip a couple pages over where the protein section is, which in reality now I probably should have put that first so you guys could have saw it. But I have it kind of at the end where I'm going to show you where that is. So the portion sheet guide tells you that 2 equals 20, 3 equals 25, 4 equals 30, 5 equals 35, and 6 equals 40. That's the amount of grams of protein that each number represents. So since it's 25, the protein is 3. 3 is across the board. That's number 1. Number 2, starch. Which meals do you want to have starch with? They want to have it with meal 1 and meal 3. So they put the 3 and 3 there. Third thing, once you have the starch down, you now know what your serving of veggies is. So if you're having starch with the meal, your serving of veggies is a single. So you could put single by, and the single does not represent the veggies relationship status at all. So I don't want you guys to get confused with that. But you're going to put single where there's a starch. So meal 1 single. I don't know if you guys got that joke. Hopefully you did. I said it with a pretty serious tone. So. And then meal 3, they know that they're having starch. So they're going to put single veggie there. Now, meal 2, meal 4, they are not having veggies. So they're going to put double and double because they're going to have a double serving of veggies because they are not getting fed starch. Okay? That's step 3. So step 1, put the protein number in. Step 2, put that number in where you would like to have starch. Step 3, fill in the veggies, single or double. Now, step 4, fat. If you're having starch with the meal, this fat number is going to be the same as the protein number, which is the same as the starch number. So meal 1, you can see that's 3, 3, 3, single serving. She's deciding she does not want to have fruit with that meal. That is a balanced meal. Okay, now let's take a look at meal 2. She's not having starch with this meal. The fat has to be 1 number higher than the protein. Has to be. Reason why? The reason why is because there's no starch and they need a source of fuel. They need a source of energy. So we have to kick up the fat a little bit to get a little bit of extra energy, a little bit of extra calories into that meal. That meal is going to be unbalanced. Okay? Since there's no starch in that meal is going to be proteins. It's going to be higher protein, mid-fat, low carb. That's really what that meal is going to be. Okay? So we have to put a percentage on meal 1. 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. Let's say that meal 3 is going to be, meal 2 is probably going to be like 10% carbs, right? 10% of the calories are coming from carbs. Now let's say 40% of the calories are coming from fat and 50% of the calories are coming from protein. That would pretty much be like the macronutrient breakdown of meal 2 in case anybody wanted to know that. I know that was a question that was asked on Facebook. So meal 3, it's balanced. Fat equals protein, starch equals protein. So the interesting thing here on meal 4 is the same exact thing as meal 2, except that she's deciding that she wants to have fruit with her meal 2. The fruit number always has to match the number of protein, and you have It's completely up to you. Whichever meal you would like to add fruit in, you could add fruit to that meal. Now, let's just say, for example, that this person for meal 2, even though they technically need to have a double serving of veggies with that meal, decides that they want to have some Greek yogurt. They want to add some peanut butter in the Greek yogurt, right? They're going to put 25 grams of protein of Greek yogurt. They're going to put, I believe a 4 is about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And a 3, let's just say 3 is like a half a cup of berries that they're going to add to that meal. Now, with a meal like that, veggies do not mix in a meal like that, right? Maybe that's a shake that they want to put in there. If it's a vanilla shake, they could put their serving of kale or something. But what if it's chocolate protein they're doing? And veggies do not go with chocolate protein. At that point, when there's fruit in a meal, you have the option to pull the veggie out if it does not make sense with the meal. Don't try to get your double serving of veggies in there if it makes absolutely no sense with the meal, if it's something like a Greek yogurt. So you'll notice that on the fat burn menu, parfaits with no starch, and it will literally just be fruit, fat, protein. That's it. And I put that in there because you literally have the option to remove the veggie out if it's something that doesn't make sense. Okay? If this is let's just say meal 1, they decided that they want to do some scoops of protein in some oatmeal, right? And now they want to add fruit to that. Veggies don't make sense with that meal. You would take the veggie, that single serving of veggie out because it doesn't tie in. The only way veggies is going to tie in that meal with oatmeal is if you have oatmeal, maybe you put some peanut butter in it or something like that. You put some berries. Now you still need protein and you need your veggie. Because in the oatmeal, you have your peanut butter, you have your starch, and you have your blueberries. So you have your fruit, your starch, and your fat. We still need veggie protein. Now you can do an egg omelet with a cup of veggies in it. That makes sense. So if it doesn't make sense to have veggies in a meal, do not have the veggies in the meal, okay? But you can only do that with one meal, and it has to have fruit. It's the only way. So now when I look at meal 2, I look at this as somebody possibly having a grilled chicken salad. They're going to have grilled chicken. They're going to have 25 grams of grilled chicken. They need double their double veggie. I'm sorry. So they can have up to 4 cups of lettuce, whatever leafy green they want. Let's just say they use arugula. Put your arugula in there. Now you can add some fruit in there, some pears, some apples, some blueberries or something, some strawberries. It makes sense in the salad. And then their dressing. That completely makes sense, and they're getting everything they need. If it doesn't make sense, take the veggie out. I totally understand. I don't want you guys to be confused like that, thinking you have to add veggie into the meal. So, again, step 1, figure out your protein number. Put it across the board. Step 2, figure out where you want to have starch. You can have it twice a day. Put your starch number in there. Step 3, once you have your starch number and you know if you need a single or double serving of veggies, put that in there. Okay? And then once you have that and you know wherever you see a double in your meal, you know that fat number has to be 1 higher than the protein number. So then you could go and you could input that in. After that, it's up to you just figuring out which meal you want to have fruit in. And it doesn't have to be the same every day. Like you could decide, okay, I want fruit meal 1 this morning. I want fruit at the end of my day with my salad that I'm going to be having. I want to have fruit with lunch with the salad that I'm having. You could put that fruit wherever. Once you put it in there, understand that you could move it around. Which is why I want you guys to do this, because I want you to have the ability to move stuff where you want. I don't want you just because this person they had fruit in meal 2. I don't want them thinking maybe that just works for them to have it there. But I don't want you thinking that you have to have your fruit all the time. It's got to be there 100%. No, you guys have the ability to move this. Also, you have the ability to move your meals around. Let's say she wants meal 2 in place of meal 1, and then she wants to have her starch at meal 2. Absolutely, you can move that stuff around. 100%. Once this is written in, it doesn't have to be forever, which is why I really want you guys to fill this stuff out, because I want you to understand how to do it, and I want you to mix and match and do different things, because that's really the best way to learn. So let's go to the next one. The next one is this woman works out more than 3 times per day, and she wants to preserve lean body mass. So you could see now that there are 5 meals filled out. So again, her weight in kilograms is 78. Multiply that by 1.8, we get 126. This person, she's gonna eat 5 meals per day. Her metabolism is kicked up. She's put on some muscle. She's burning. 4 meals aren't doing the trick anymore. She's starving. She needs to eat more. All right. So she decides she's gonna add that extra meal in. So 126 divided by 5 is 25.2. Again, 25 grams of protein. We know that's a 3. First step, 3s across the board. 1 through 5. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Now we need to know this rule. If somebody wants to preserve lean body mass, it requires that they eat 3 meals with starch. Okay? Let's pick the 3 meals we want starch in. We want starch in meal 1, we want starch in meal 3, and we want starch in meal 5. Awesome. Step 2, veggies. There's a starch in meal 1, so we know it's single. There's no starch in meal 2, it's double. There's a starch in meal 3, we know that's a single. There's no starch in meal 4, we know that veggies is double. There's starch in meal 5, we know that it's a single. Let's get that in there. Step 4, let's figure out the fat. Is there starch in this meal? Yes. Okay, the fat equals the protein. Is there starch in this meal? No. Fat is 1 higher than protein. Is there starch in this meal? Yes. Fat equals protein. Is there starch in this meal? No. Fat is 1 higher than protein. Is there starch in this meal? Yes. Fat equals protein. Last step, where are we putting the fruit? Okay, this person decided they're going to put their fruit in their meal 3. Again, you have the option to move this around. This is if you want to preserve lean body mass. This is typically women getting under 25% body fat. This is typically men getting under 15% body fat. Something needs to change. We don't want you guys getting fatigued. We want your strength gains going up at all times. We want you getting stronger, endurance going up. We don't want that fatigue. We don't want that happening at all. That's awesome. Just decided it wanted to update now. Here we go. So preserving lean body mass, let's just run that down again. They get fed 3 starches per day. 3 times they need to eat starch. Again, there was 1.6 for preserving lean body mass and 1.8. She's working out more than 3 times a week. We're going to use 1.8. We could always kick that down if we need to. So last but not least, let's get into the muscle building. Just for the record, this is constantly how I'm eating. I'm constantly eating this way. I eat starch in every meal. I'm constantly wanting to build muscle. My body type has the ability to actually cut eating starches with all meals. This isn't the same for everybody. We're all built differently genetically. This is your coaches will 100% be able to help you guys with this and have you understanding where you need to be by body type. We all have years of experience by knowing what somebody needs or somebody doesn't need. So again, listen to the recommendation of your coach. There's 3 numbers for building muscle. There is, you could multiply your weight in kilos by 2, by 2.2, or 2.4. Using 2.2 when this person's working out 5 days a week. Really want to build muscle. You need starch in every meal. So weight in kilos times 2.2 is 154 grams of protein per day. That's what they need. We're going to divide that by 5, and we get 30. So 30 grams of protein represents 4. 4 equals 30 grams of protein. And that's the next slide we're going to get into. Step 1, 4 is across the board. They want to eat 5 meals per day. Step 2, we already know that they're eating starch in every meal. So 4, got to equal protein. This is the easiest thing to put together is the building muscle. Every veggie single serving because they're getting fed starch in every meal. There was a mistake here on this slide. There should not be fruit in every meal. Okay, so these 4s, 4, 4, 4 by fruit. It's a mistake on my part, and there should be X's here. They still get fed fruit once a day. I don't care if you're building muscle. You're going to get fruit once a day. There's not all 4s here. This is a mistake on my part, okay? So since every meal is going to be balanced, it's just super simple. The only time you will see X's here is during the fruit column. Let's just say they wanted fruit meal 3 only. That means there would be an X here, an X here, an X here, and an X here. So since everything is balanced when you're trying to build muscle, the fat is going to be the same as the protein, which means the starch is going to be the same number as the protein, and your fruit is going to be the same number as the protein. And all servings of veggies are single servings. I don't know if anybody's really applying this method yet, but I just wanted you guys to take a look at it. Okay, so this is where I'm getting certain numbers from. once your body weight is converted into kilograms, let's just say the first person we had, it was what did she had threes, right? She needed 25 grams of protein per meal. See this protein portion list? See the number 3, 25 grams. So she was 70 kilos. We multiplied it by 1.4. She wanted weight loss. She needed about 25 grams. It was like a total like 98 grams of protein per day. We divided that by 4, and it gave us a number close to 25. So once you know that you need about 25 grams of protein per day, come check out this protein portion list and look once you get your number. This number here is going to give you what you need for that table. If you need 20 grams of protein per day, that's a 2. So let's just say the person in the first part needed 20 grams of protein per meal. She was eating 4 times per day. First step, we're going to come over here and look, okay, what's 20 grams equal? 20 grams is 2. It's a level 2. So in those boxes, we're going to put 2, 2, 2, 2 in the protein because that's step 1. Step 2, where do you want to eat your 2 starches? I want it at meal 1 and meal 3. Okay, I'm going to put a 2 in the starch in meal 1. I'm going to put a 2 in the starch in meal 3. Now, once I have meal 1 with the starch and meal 3 with the starch, I know that those get single servings of veggies, which tells me that meal 2 and meal 4 are going to get double servings of veggies. That's step 3. But then how many veggies are you going to get? Step 4, the fat. How much fat are you getting? So if it's an unbalanced meal, which means that they're not getting starch in that meal, the fat has to be a 3 because the protein's a 2. The fat has to be 1 higher if there's no starch. If there is starch, the fat equals the protein. The starch equals the protein. Now they're going to decide where they want fruit as the last step. And say they want fruit in meal 2. They're going to put a 2 in the fruit. And then they're going to put an X in the rest of the boxes. This right here is going to tell you what your number is. So I'm going to do a little conversion right now on my calculator. So let's say we have somebody that comes in and they're 175 pounds. We're gonna 175 divided by 2.20462 equals 79. So somebody who's 175 pounds, dividing their weight into the kilo formula, 2.20462, is 79.3 kilos. We're going to round down because it's a 3. So there's 79 kilos. 79. Let's say that they work out 3 or less times per week and they want weight loss. We're going to use 1.2 times 1.2 equals 94.8. Let's just say that's 95, right? They're eating 4 times per day. Let's divide that by 4 meals. We get 23.7. Okay, we're going to just round up for 25 for that. So right now, once I get that number, I'm going to take a look right here, and I see that this person needs 25 grams of protein per day. So now I know that the number here is 3. That's the number we're working with. Go to my table, and I put 4 3s right on the top. And that's how I'm going to do that. This formula really is the winning formula. This is something that you guys could literally use for the rest of your lives. I'm not even kidding. This is a really well-balanced diet filled with non-processed foods to really help you be at your best all the time. I can guarantee you, because right now I'm not really doing it because I've been doing a lot of body comps and stuff lately, and I explained the structure, right? So I did a Facebook Live about getting results through the holidays and how to do that. So the best way to do it, and why we have these time challenges. So there's a challenge that starts in September. You have 2 months pretty much to get results. You got September and October, because I know these months are tough. September and October, you could crush results at that time. Now you have November and December and kind of like maybe that first week of January. That is time to maintain. And I mean, you could obviously 100% get results. We've had a bunch of people get results through the holidays, but for me, the best way to do it is whatever result I got in September and October, I'm going to maintain and hold on to that result through November, through December. Once January comes, I lock right back in. Lock in for January. I'm going to be doing the challenge with you guys. I love doing the challenges with everybody. February, I kind of like float around a little bit, but I have some really good habits going on. I kind of get the last stuff out of my system because I know that once March comes, that March, April, and May, I'm going to be crushing it on those 3 months. Now, I do it for two reasons every year. One, I want to ride it out through summer, so I want to get into the best possible shape I can and ride that out through the summer. Two, my birthday is at the end of May, and I want to look really good on my birthday. Those are really the two reasons why I do it. So with that formula, you have, let's see, 2 months, right? You got September, October. Then you got January, that's 3 months. Then you have March, April, and May, another 3 months. So 6 months. And they're all coming. They're going to be close here. You guys have a chance to just crush results. And we're getting out of the holidays. I know there's holiday parties. We have ours. At work, you guys have holiday parties. Friends have parties. It's tough. It really is. It's definitely a tough time of year to try to get results. And reading some of the Facebook posts that you guys were putting, I totally understand that because it could be beating you down a little bit because you know that there's certain things you're supposed to do and you're not getting it done. And don't put that expectation on yourself of thinking that you have to be perfect through the holidays. You know you're not going to be. So don't be upset when you do something you're not supposed to do, which is why I just told you what I did with the getting results in September, October, writing it out for November, December, coming back in January, maybe getting some stuff out of your system in February, and then just crushing March, April, May, and just looking amazing for the summer. If that's something you want, that's something I do. And it's been working with me for a few years now, and I just getting in that routine is a really good thing. So again, if you guys have any questions about this, please, 3 ways of contact: Facebook, email, call the studio. If you're not getting it, you need more help with this formula and stuff and figuring it out, I have no problem doing it with you. Also, working on a vegan MBA. Working on getting into Stanford to meet some of you guys and have a sit down with you guys, so you don't feel like you're lost and you don't have anybody there. I definitely don't want you to feel that way. So I want you guys to have a great day and enjoy the holidays.